Hi, my name is Gabriela Sanacore, and the current event I chose is protests against domestic violence on college campuses. So, domestic violence does reach college campuses, and research shows that young adults in the 18 to 24 age range are actually at a higher risk of experiencing intimate partner violence than anyone else. So, because of this, it's important for college campuses to take steps to prevent and address domestic violence. So protests and demonstrations can take many forms, including marches, rallies, sit-ins, and social media campaigns. So my article from the U.S. focuses on a 24-hour silent protest that took place at Loyola Marymount University in L.A., where students wore duct tape over their mouths and silently held signs to spread awareness about domestic violence. So their posters had various facts about collegiate domestic violence on them, and they stood outside of the library from 8 a.m. on one day until 8 a.m. the next day. So this protest was planned by an organization called the Bells, whose entire focus is to bring attention to domestic violence on campus and just remind people that it can occur in college campuses. Through these protests, students aim to bring awareness to the issue of domestic violence, challenge the culture of silence and victim blaming, and demand better resources for survivors. So my second article focuses on a group of young female activists in Turkey who planned and successfully held several protests against gender-based and domestic violence. So these protests were actual marches where they got together, held signs, blocked off roads, and marched through the streets. But unlike the article from the US, these women were met with extreme pushback and at sometimes reaching the point of excessive force and several unlawful arrests. So obviously the protests themselves were different, as well, but the reactions were so wildly different despite them both being peaceful protests that I just thought that was interesting. But they both have one important thing in common, which is college-age women organizing to fight back against domestic violence. So my group's topic is collegiate women's activism, and I think that these articles fit perfectly with that topic because that's exactly what's happening. These are all college-age women who form an organization, either on campus or off campus, but they get together and form a community to fight back against a common issue and engage in activism. So overall, domestic violence protests on college campuses across the world are an important way for students and community members to come together, raise awareness, and advocate for change to prevent and address domestic violence on college campuses.